Deborah, thanks for joining us. You know, I've heard the word Ponzi scheme being used as it's related to hydrofracking. What are your thoughts on that?
That term was first used in the New York Times article that came out last summer exposing the financial anomalies of shale gas. And that term was used by industry insiders. It wasn't used by the Times, it was used by industry insiders in various documents that the Times got hold of. I think that reserves have been dramatically overestimated. We know that now. You can now compare numbers that the operators have to file with various states in the different shale plays. And we can compare them to what the original projections of industry were. And the original projections were substantially overestimated. The wells have not performed up to what the industry claimed they would.
And by reserves, you're saying that the amount of gas that's in this rock under the ground, you think is going to peter out way before all the estimates.
That has been the case thus far. If you take the Barnett, where I live in North Texas, for instance, what we're finding is that the wells here are played out 85% by about year 5, and they're completely played out on average by about 7.5 years. So this is not a long-lived activity.
To play devil's advocate, this is private industry. This isn't government spending people's money to drill holes in the ground that may not pay off later. This is private industry, so what?
Unfortunately, because of the new rule change that the Securities and Exchange Commission instituted a few years ago, these companies can book these reserves or this claim of reserves. The SEC did not make it mandatory that they get an independent third-party audit, so we are having to take the company's word for it that the reserves even exist or are viable to pull out of the ground. So they can book these reserves and then borrow monies immediately within the capital markets. And of course, the more reserves you book, the more money you can borrow. So that's problematic. You know, I think there's a place for natural gas in the overall energy mix as we move to alternatives.
Do you think we're going to see a bubble? Do you think this is going to be a bubble just like it was, whether it was the mortgage crisis or, you know, with the Enron crisis? What do you think is going to happen here?
I think you're already seeing a bubble. I mean, when you can flip land on untested fields for $25,000 an acre, that's a bubble. And we're already seeing it, and I think it's becoming unraveled.
Deborah Rogers, thank you so much.